Angelica, we're gonna get started. We usually go live right on the hour, so we can just hang out and everybody will be joining here in just a second.
Okay, I'll mute myself and put my video off.
Cool. No worries. And then near the end, we'll do like an elections kind of announcement near the end, and then give you an opportunity just to introduce yourself if you're comfortable doing that. Nothing formal, anything like that. Just a quick introduction of yourself and Nick, or I think James will be here too, so he's gonna do the same thing.
Okay, sure.
Cool.
Got it.
Sounds good. We'll see you soon.
We're gonna kill it.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
All right, I'll be muted for a bit, and the rest of the team should be
Too.
joining in a few. So,
Okay.
all right.
Hey there, Simon. Right on time.
Hello, hello. How are you doing, Coops?
Yeah, doing very good. How about you?
Yeah, doing well, thank you.
Good.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Parker.
Hey, y'all. Just had a great week up in Vegas at Money
Amazing.
2020. Yeah, it was massively successful. I mean, the whole world, because it was a hybrid conference, sort of with traditional payments, fintech, banks from everywhere, and then also stablecoin companies, crypto companies, and it was very exciting. So a lot of traction there.
Yeah, no, looking forward to hearing more about it at some point.
I was there for non-conferencing reasons a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Perfect. Let's get started. Cool. So, welcome everybody to our 26th recurring platform and Treasury Council meeting, where we continue our journey of transparent governance and community engagement for the Telcoin ecosystem. Today's agenda encompasses several vital updates on Telcoin governance initiatives, recent platform developments, and a preview of upcoming and in-progress TIP and TEL-IP proposals that will shape our future. BZ, if you could post the agenda in the chat now, that'd be great. These regular meetings serve as the heartbeat of our government system, fulfilling multiple essential functions, including creating a transparent window into council operations for our community, providing structured forums for discussing and refining proposals, offering proposals a platform to present their ideas directly to council members, enabling community members to witness, discuss, and help shape these proposals, delivering consistent platform updates to keep everybody informed, maintaining open lines of communication between council members, and facilitating direct community engagement through our interactive Q&A sessions. I'd like to take a moment to reaffirm that the Platform Treasury Councils represent the global governance layer for both the Telcoin platform and association. Working in concert, these councils oversee platform-wide systems, shape association social policies, and steward the Tel Treasury with care and foresight. The Telcoin platform government system, self-organized and determined by the 4 minor groups and their elected councils within the association, focuses on 2 primary duties. Those are provisioning, which is planning and financing platform infrastructure construction and maintenance, providing information, and delivering other collective goods essential to our ecosystem's health. And also TEL allocation, which is regulating TEL sustainably within the platform for the 4 minor groups to harvest based on their production according to the rules established by their respective councils. As council members, our commitments are that we will thoughtfully review on voting snapshot proposals, maintaining consistent attendance at council meetings, providing transparent regular updates to the community, vigilantly monitoring platform systems, and upholding and enforcing our operational framework. So the first item on the agenda is a recap from the last meeting. In the last meeting, we discussed that it was decided not to move forward with the Storm Partners TEL trading competition with Seed Hub, although it's something that could potentially happen in the future. So it's a little bit on the back burner for the minute. We had an update on the progress of the escrow transfer to BitGo from Telcoin Holdings, which we're still awaiting news from that. It was confirmed that the integration of OneSafe for Telcoin Association payments successfully passed snapshot vote. Work around that again is still ongoing to set that up. It was confirmed that Company 2 proposal is nearing completion, just awaiting some contract signing. Just a reminder, we're still in a blackout period around this, and any news will come directly from Company 2 to themselves. And also, Blue Lights gave an update on his community project, telcoinhub.com. This has had some updates since a fortnight ago, so it's definitely worth checking out to see what's happening over there. Perfect. So we're going to kick things off with a Telcoin network update. So over to Grant.
All right. Thanks, Simon.
Protocol team has completed all the remaining priority security patches that were identified from the security competition. And building on that momentum, we also closed an additional 15 issues over the past 2 weeks that addressed other security concerns and performance issues, and also enhanced our test coverage, which actually exposed a few other minor bugs. So the last bug that we were really that we knew about was Steve just opened a PR for earlier today, so that's we think we're in the clear there. So really, the network protocol has never been more robust, secure, or efficient. The current focus now is just to deploy our new faucet service and get all of these changes up and have the network redeployed. That's going to enable the developers and other validators that want to test on the network to easily obtain test tokens. And once that faucet is operational, we're separating as a service out of the protocol to be standalone. Then we'll move forward with the rest of the network deployment. And it's just be that one step closer to the live testing environment for the MNOs to begin participating. So once again, the roadmap website is constantly updated, continues to reflect our latest progress, and trying to provide as much detailed visibility into each one of these development phases. So big thank you to Nick and Derek for continuing to help take that initiative for us and keep the community as informed as we can. So that's it for my update today. Happy to answer any questions though.
Perfect. Any questions for Grant? Yeah, no worries.
Pull it up here. One moment. Grab it. Okay. One second. Sorry, it's loading. Okay, in regards to the network, there was questions around. There's a few questions around MNOs and asking if there is any way to have any confirmation that there's MNOs sign up. There was another question about if the number of MMOs or anything like that would be announced, which I'll just again share on the call. That's not really purview to us. That will come from the MNO side. I know the other question was mentioned that Grant we had mentioned maybe we would see some around at some point. So obviously, just an update on that front. Anything that you can provide is the question.
Certainly. Yeah. So we're actively working with multiple MNO partners through the GSMA membership ecosystem, right? That's a professional association where GSMA members can cooperate, coordinate, share ideas, explore, and do business, right? And Telcoin is also a GSMA member. The association supports GSMA members through our TAN application layer. But that's just a little bit of background about GSMA. Really, the onboarding process follows this. It's a structured approach, right? There's technical integration, there's testnet participation, and then we're going to go into production for mainnet. So, rather than rushing announcements, what we're trying to do is focus on ensuring that each of these partners has the technical infrastructure that's set up, that their servers are secure, that they understand how to manage these private keys, and the significant consequences for just sort of entering this new space, right? There is no reset. There's no one who we can't recover a password for you. This is a private key environment, and this is asynchronous cryptography. So, but long story short, though, we want to share more specific details as the partners complete this this onboarding process, and when they're ready to publicly engage. So, but I'm happy to say that we have strong interest and commitment from the MNO partners who are ready to participate once the testnet is operational. So, and our protocol team is just trying to get this delivered. We're making strong progress. We're coordinating closely with the teams that are going to be setting these up in data centers. This is something that it's a bit of an international development, but as my last meeting was at 6:15 a.m. my time on Tuesday. But I think things are things are going well as we have these elections too coming up. I think we are definitely interested in trying to encourage more public participation to kind of help shape the network as well. I think that in the short term and being operational until mainnet is live, that this is sort of we're moving as swiftly as we can by just having the Tau kind of cover these validator interests. But that doesn't mean that we're not in touch with our constituents or that we're not taking their considerations strongly in our decision making either. So yeah, I think really just it's an industry standard practice, and the mobile network operators usually announce partnerships after they've validated the technology. Right now, they're waiting for us to deliver that technology and testnet and getting that ready. So we're trying to respect that approach, and it seems pretty common in telecom partnerships. So I appreciate everyone's patience. It is exciting, and I can't wait until it is no longer this secret. It's not but yeah, this is where we're at right now.
Thanks, Grant. I think a follow-up question was, could you just describe, you had mentioned the hardware, right? And could you just describe why the node setup specifically for these MNOs is so unique in regards to the hardware required? Again, we're setting up hardware in multiple areas of and how, not just in one data center. So maybe a little clarification around that about why it's so complex would be great too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I understood the question. So the idea of Telcoin network is it's a consortium of mobile network operators that comprise validators for the network, right? And that's like a lot of big words, but the blockchain is only as fast as the slowest network. And so when you have the responsibility of a validator to secure and process and validate every single transaction that goes through the network, that your hardware requirements, your minimum hardware requirements really matter. And so you see protocols like Ethereum that are prioritizing decentralization. It's power to the people. And a big part of that initiative is to maximize decentralization. And that comes at some cost of scalability. And what that really means is that, in order to really have the most diverse validator set for Ethereum, they have to lower the hardware requirements, which makes the protocol, decentralized, but it also makes it slower because you can't guarantee that everybody's going to have enterprise level servers with, symmetric gigabit upload and download, et cetera. So the strengths with the MNOs is that they are already running these networks. They are experts in packet delivery, and that is both telecom packets and data packets for internet. So tapping into that sort of expertise and having them run the network for blockchain and really the internet of money, I think that it's going to be increasingly more obvious just the direct value that it's going to bring to their operations. I also think that with the consortium of validators just being telecom specific, it kind of reduces their risk. They already are used to working through standards through the GSMA. The protocol is a standard. This is something that they can coordinate and really just take advantage of, where you don't have to, get an entire DAO of Ethereum anonymous token holders. We know who the validators are on the network, and we know what they represent, and it is a professional association with business goals in mind. And part of that too is just they have superior connectivity. They're already doing it for mobile networks. They have a global presence, and their operational expertise is it's both scalable and secure. So I think bringing blockchain is the next natural step for them and into the industry, but it's been tough because, they have regulatory requirements, and not all protocols are designed to handle these specific regulatory requirements, whereas ours is structured around the GSMA. And I think it's going to turn out to be a really great introduction for a lot of these telecoms into crypto in general. And by having a protocol and a network that they are securing on a fundamental level, it's just going to let all the developers and applications on the network succeed because the foundation is so strong.
Can I add a point? Can I add a couple of points too? I think a shout out to Storm, because the B2B side is different, right? It's fundamentally confidential. Until it's announced. But I just did want to give a shout out to Storm, who has, a very deep network of telecoms that they're close with as well. And so they've, while they're obviously working on, the full scope of marketing for the association, it's important to note that they are doing a great job on that. Have made some really solid connections and have honestly some great ideas about how we can even further standardize the network from a telecommunications perspective, both within the GSMA, external to it. And, a lot of these sort of working groups are actually like Swiss domiciled. So it's actually a really, good fit. And just wanted to give them a shout out and say, yeah, I mean, it take the life cycle for anyone who works in telecom. Generally the deals take some time, but we're definitely pretty excited about the traction that we've got so far.
Awesome.
Oh, and incorporating GSMA into association and Tau. That's an area that I've kind of always thought about, right? It's obviously there's two minor groups and their representatives that the GSMA members naturally go towards, but even further sort of having a champion within the telecom community to perhaps even come onto the Tau in some capacity as the GSMA director is in discussions. And yeah, so thanks.
Awesome. One more follow-up question for that. There was a question about if any specific ballpark numbers for MNOs can be followed up on, as had been mentioned at a previous time. I don't know how much we can or can't say on that, but that is the question.
I don't have the exact numbers, the latest numbers with me, but yeah, I think that with testnet rolling out, it'll be obvious to see the number of validators are on the network. It's one metric. Yeah, I think right now our biggest focus is just ensuring that they're set up to roll whenever we get testnet out.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So just to elaborate, that it's kind of like other agreements and other. There was another question about if these are handshake agreements or if these are contractual. And I think Grant, you hit on this, and you can certainly elaborate if you want. But these MMOs, and correct me if I'm wrong, they are making a pretty substantial financial investment in this integration here, right? So it's not just time, but it's also there's a big level of stuff, and then the incentive that comes with it of the Telcoin network itself and being a validator, right, and that whole process. So that was one of the questions. But Grant, if you want to elaborate anything, you're welcome to.
Yeah. So exactly right. There's the last thing we want to do is corner participants on the network. We believe in our technology, we believe in our plan, and we're confident that with these partnerships and just the MNOs first and foremost have reputations to protect, right? And so we're very aware of that, and that's why we're prioritizing security first and foremost. And so I think that once they see how successful the network is and how secure and how compelling the use case for crypto, cross-border payments, global remittance, settlements between operators across borders as well. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? That we get into the actual switches and the actual GSM underlying technology and the amount of revolutionary advancements that can happen for a protocol like Telcoin networks that's really scalable. And then you tie that with EVM networks so that there's no shortage of developers, and EVM is like one of the largest open source communities and in the space. So yeah, I just we don't feel like there's no need to force them and to anything like that. But as far as our agreements and our participations, we do have mutual understandings. There's MOUs, and it's very clearly outlined. Just like for instance, in these early days, that we're asking our partners to participate in both testnet and mainnet in order to help us get off the ground and ensure that we have a robust infrastructure for both networks.
Great, thanks. And then another update in regards to, there was another question about when things are on track to go live by. As had been mentioned in the in some of the developer notes before, we're focused on a milestone based approach. I don't know, Grant, if you want to elaborate on timelines or things, but you know, we've decided to kind of pivot away from, hey, we're going to give you a timeline, because things can speed up or slow down based on audits, based on other things that are going on, one way or the other. Not just it, depends on what comes up. So, Grant, that was one of the questions. I answered maybe a little bit there for you, but if you want to add any more, you're welcome to.
Yeah, the timelines are notoriously difficult, and I feel bad every time we get them wrong. What I am confident in is providing a detailed roadmap that's milestone based, that is focused on this is our next objective. Sometimes with these security feedback, we are feature complete, and a lot of this initial security feedback, we are making some pretty big changes. But with that, we also have major performance improvements, and we are working to just patch every single security concern that was identified in this competition. So with that, we have more audits to go through. That requires third-party participation. That is a back and forth between security researchers. We are moving as swiftly as we can. That is also responsible in prioritizing, once again, security first and foremost. So we've made tremendous progress this past month. Like I said, 15 issues in particular these past 2 weeks, and just to kind of provide some insight on how that can affect timelines. We actually made so many significant improvements at the epic boundary, where validators are rotated and the new committees are rotated and out. So when new nodes join the network, new validators join the network, they're eligible to participate. And so these validator sets, the priority validators, they kind of rotate, and through some significant performance improvements, we actually uncovered some new bugs that were not a problem, and they're kind of minor. Is very inconsistent race conditions. Just under this really quirky conditions, this one thing can happen, and it kind of causes the problems for a particular node. So we've really gone deep into expanding our test coverage and just ironing this out, so that as we move forward, like, we are ready for production. And that is just kind of hard to predict exactly how long that's going to take. But the roadmap is clear. We know our objectives, and we know what we need to do to get to mainnet.
Awesome, thanks, Grant. Yeah, obviously uptime is super important. We've seen that with the AWS outage recently, and some of the other things that have happened, right? So it's obviously important to the MNOs, so it has to be important to us and the validators and the people using the network. So appreciate. I just want to give a shout out to you and Marcus and the team and Simon and everybody else. The priority security patch is going to 0, but not just that. I mean, you guys are really putting in. I mean, I don't think the community can't really see all the work you guys put in. We can see it on GitHub, obviously, but I think that it's not a great representation of just the massive amount of building an L1 from the ground up is. So I'm thoroughly impressed every time I get to pick your brain. So thank you for all the work, and great congrats on the priority security patches getting to 0. So really nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing stuff, Grant. I think everybody would agree that it's hard to listen to that and not get excited. So yeah, very exciting stuff coming up. Amazing. So next we're going to move on to a update from Nick around his new TIP proposal.
Thanks, Simon. This is something we've all been kind of talking about for a while. One of the biggest sort of pictures for everything. But the current online presence of the various websites is split across 3 main domains: telcoin.org for governance, telcoin.network for the network itself, and telex.network for the DeFi and liquidity. And while each serves a purpose, the fragmentation makes it harder for users, builders, partners to know where to find official information, having different sites, and it also dilutes the visibility and brand strength. So this proposal, which is part of a sort of ongoing conversation and Storm as well thinking about it, but this proposal is to bring everything together under one cohesive home, which would be the main domain being telcoin.network, the same as Ripple, Stellar, and Circle already do. And under the single domain, we'd have clear subsections. So potentially governance.telcoin.network for councils and proposals, defi.telcoin.network or telex.telcoin.network for liquidity pools, docs.telcoin.network for technical references, and developer.telcoin.network as a friendly sort of front door for builders. And the benefits are pretty straightforward. First of all, it's way better SEO. Consistent design across the one sort of portal, stronger brand identity, and an easier experience for everyone, whether you're a new user, a developer, or part of governance. It also simplifies maintenance, analytics, the future updates under one managed structure. So ultimately, this unification gives Telcoin and the association a modern professional web presence that reflects the scale and ambition of the ecosystem. One clear, trusted destination for everything related to Telcoin and the network. So that's kind of like it in a nutshell. It goes into a bit more breakdown in the proposal itself, but that's just my kind of verbal version of it, so to speak.
We'll open it up for any council discussion or comments.
Hi, it's Angelica. I agree with Nick because from the outside, I didn't know all the multi-layers that Telcoin is doing, and I didn't even know about the Telcoin hub. So I agree with that. They have to, everybody can find one source and they know where it's at, and it has to be secure too, because obviously there's deep fakes. That's another thing that has to be taken into consideration.
Yeah, and that's part of the idea of having one entrance. So being the main, because obviously the network is next year or later this year and next year is going to become the big picture of everything. It's going to be the Telcoin network. So it makes sense to me to have Telcoin.network as the main actual entry for everything.
From an outside perspective, because what we only know is the digital asset bank, the ESUD, we don't know about Telcoin Hub or the Telcoin ecosystem. So this is something new even for me right now.
But yeah, that's great feedback too, because from as someone who's seen this kind of come up from nothing, I've always kind of imagined it in my head as like Telcoin, the platform, and the different layers of the platform, being Telcoin network, secure foundation. You have the application network. You have Telex at the DeFi layer. And so this is I guess there's kind of a realizing my own sort of perspective and just the bias that might have happened as well. I think with Telcoin .network being, I think, is as the root domain. I guess that to me, well, not to get too much into the weeds, but I think like potentially even telcoin.org might be like sufficient for that too. I think the .network is kind of neat, but it doesn't necessarily need to be exclusively that. But yeah, just sharing my 2 cents. I think if it's a confusing experience for users, then it's certainly something that we need to consider and how to reduce that confusion and help people figure out where all of our resources are.
Just to add to that, I did some looking into other specifically layer ones with DAOs. The one that kept popping up was Avalanche, and they're structured very similar to this. The network is the primary landing spot anytime that it's their SEO pushes to, right, and then it branches from there. So the network is the primary, and it's built that way across a few of these ecosystems. So to me, looking after doing kind of a deep dive, I did that like last week. The having .org and then having everything else slightly different from that, like Telcoin.network, everything else. That's the part I think that lends to some confusion when you, especially when you look at some of the other networks. And then obviously I can't see all of it, but I'm assuming that that would assist with flow through and click through rate as well, depending on how we structured it. So just some thoughts.
Would it be sufficient to just add more subdomains to Telcoin network? Like because there's other ways to do this too under the hood where we could you could do redirects. You could just have multiple domains for the same sort of front end. And so if it would be, or is this proposal more about just getting rid of websites or just adding more subdomains? I guess like is kind of sounds like a whole architectural foundation, like a complete overhaul of the website as well for Telcoin network.
Yeah, I mean just my vision of how I see it would be that we would just because we're working on other parts of the other websites. It seems to obviously keep with that theme, but we just completely redo everything and stick it under one roof, so to speak. And obviously the telcoin.org, that can just, if anyone goes to that could just automatically redirect to the main portal, the main entrance to the whole Telcoin ecosystem, whether it's governance, whether it's DeFi, whether it's developer, whatever it is, it will just all come through one thing,
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Go ahead, Grant.
I agree with that, and just thinking through like the implementation details for this sort of thing. I mean, it sounds like we would need to figure out like a new. I think with the end user experience being the priority and the focus here, one of the most important things that we're going to have to figure out is like the layout of the website is like like a navigation system, a menu options, etc. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm a big proponent of that, Grant. Yeah, again, I'm an end user guy, right? So if you look at it from the perspective, like I have a guy that I work with, just a backstory. That's a graphic designer and also has some experience in web design. And I just sent him our telcoin.org website, and I said, I'm curious what your thoughts are. Here's the website. What do you think about how easy it is to get around? And his first comment was, I don't really understand what I'm doing or where I'm going. Why is there an org and then what's this network? He was like, I don't get it. So I think that that's a really fragmented viewpoint, right, of somebody that doesn't understand crypto that well. But I think it's something to think about in that matter. James has his hand up. Go ahead, James.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, I think I think it's a no-brainer proposal. I think everything needs to be unified, and I don't know if anybody's brought this up before, but also there's a thing called like alongside SEO, there's GEO, right? So it's basically AI or LLM SEO, which they now call like GEO, generative engine optimization. So if we have all these different websites, AI is now the new search engine, right? People are talking about they're not even finding pizza on Google Maps or Uber Eats anymore. They're using AI to even find like better pizza when they order it, right? So now that's where everything's moving now, is just using AI for everything, right? So if we unify everything, then it's not going to have a hard time for us to optimize for GEO, to have these LLMs and have AI to be able to actually, and Google crawling and all of that, to be able to have one single source of truth. It knows that all of the SEO that's actually going there, all of the traffic, all of the web crawling, all of the articles, everything's all in one master unified website. So I just wanted to kind of bring that up as an additional like feather in the cap, if you will, for this proposal. I think it's great, and I think it's a no-brainer.
It's a good point. I didn't think about that. You're right though. I did it the other day, honestly.
Yep, exactly. Everybody's using it. I mean, I forgot the stats, but it's something like 15 to 20% already of like every single search is coming through some sort of AI now.
Good point. Very good point. There's some hands up. Let's see. Matthew's got his up. I think Simon had his up too. Go for it. I think Simon might have been first, then Matthew. Go ahead, Simon.
Yeah, again, just voice my support. I'm not gonna lie, Nick. This was again something that I had in the pipeline, but you beat me to it, and you've done it better probably. So great stuff. I think just general. My question was just technically. I don't know if anybody has any insight. What the sort of time commitment, regardless of whether it should be on what master sort of domain, what's the technical and time requirement standpoint to simply put everything under one name? So move telex to there, move DORG to there if it's going to network.
Well, we've got obviously the new web sort of style that's coming with telex and things like that, and potentially the .org. So it just is a bit of a pivot to sort of regather and reorganize and kind of go. In fact, I think it's easier because if we're focusing on one master domain with a really nice homepage and really nice navigation, content wise, we just need to spruce up a bit, make sure it's all correct and modern, and I don't see it as being a huge undertaking, especially with Storm helping out and whoever else. I don't know about timelines because this is just the initial proposal, but I'm sure further conversation, we need to really just conversate a bit more and get ourselves in order and find out exactly what we want to do and what's going to make sense, and if everybody agrees, obviously, and then we can go and work it all out and come up with something. But I personally, I don't see it as a huge job because obviously Josh has done some amazing design for like the telex and other things. So we've already got the design really that we could use. It's just about organizing what we want, how we're going to do it, really good quality developer landing pages with good CTAs, and making sure that, it's really useful for no matter what you are. If you're just a person that's interested, if you're a developer and you want to build on the Telcoin network, you need to be able to navigate from the homepage to exactly like you need to go deeper and deeper and deeper. So you want to see what the initial things, the reasons why you should develop on the Telcoin network, and then you want to go into more technical reading and understanding of the Telcoin network. So we have to layer it like an onion. We don't want to put all of that in your face on the front page because it will scare everybody off. But we have to build the navigation correctly. So any potential business partners that want to get in contact and do whatever. So we just need to go away, gather all our thoughts, get organized, and work out a plan. But I don't see it. To me, it's not a really big issue. We could have it done within a few months, for sure. But obviously, costing we need to work out as well. But that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, good point. Matt, go ahead.
I've only worked on one proposal for a federal client that was a complete reboot of a website. The only thing that I would sort of add as a friendly amendment would be to keep in mind that it'll need to be reviewed 6 months after it's done, and things will need to be updated and refreshed. And in that proposal, I remember that being about 25% of the total cost. So as we're just planning in terms of hours or cost, that next round, and then a continuous process of improvement or review would just be something we would want to account for.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And that also this actually makes it even easier, because right now we've got 3 sites that we need to individually update. Whereas if we had one master kind of site with all the same design and content needs to be updated, we need to continuously keep it fresh. We need to make sure it's updated consistently. So yeah, there is obviously continuation of work, but that's a good point. We need to add that into the costings as well.
Sounds great. Any other questions on this proposal? Angelica, go ahead. Angelica, go ahead. Oh, Parker, I'm sorry. Parker had his hand up twice. Apologies.
Yeah, so I think it's a great idea, and we should move forward with it, but do a technical specification at the council office hours Wednesday at 11 Central next week with TAO members and council members that have worked on the proposal. as one of the people that helped develop the website, I couldn't agree more and think that there's definitely fragmentation between the three. And also, just generally, it could be much more intuitive. So yeah, great job on the proposal. I'm looking forward to reading it and coming to next week's meet with something to contribute.
Awesome. Thanks, Parker. Angelica, you had your hand up?
Yes, I want to add what Nick said about the front page is like it has to be user friendly because us right now, we understand Web3, but for people that don't understand it, especially the corporations and other people, they need to know about it and it can't be intimidating. So I agree with that 100% because a lot, even like the global treasurers I know that are with 10 billion plus, they're very, what's the word? They have to feel that they're safe in this new Web3 space, and Telcoin is is just doing everything correctly from the security to the law to the etc. But all of that has to be very user friendly for them to understand because they don't know anything. So when they see the web page, the front page, they're like, okay, I feel secure. The security is right. The laws are right. That's what I'm trying to say because they don't trust it yet.
No, really well said. Yeah, it's kind of like Grant was saying with setting up MNOs, right? They don't know what they don't know at times, and getting them into this new world of blockchain. So really well put. All right, let's check and see if we had any other comments. None, just a lot of support in the chat, looks like. Anyone else before we move on? All right, hearing none. The next item, and I'll pass it over to Coop, is, I believe, finance and operations. Coop, or whatever you have next.
Yeah, just a very quick update. So some people will have seen that Storm Partners posted a proposal that seeks approval and funding to hire a professional partner for finance and operational support for the association. This has now been posted to Snapshot and is currently with the platform council. So yeah, BZ, if you're able to post the link to that proposal, we'll put it up on screen.
Yeah, I can bring it up.
That gives all the details about the proposal, lays out all the monetary aspect, etc., of what it would cost.
Hey, Coop, would you mind just explaining the rationale behind what we did there and what the purpose of it is? Really briefly. Or anybody, it doesn't matter.
To be honest, I don't know too much about it because that was posted when I was off for two
Yep.
meetings. I don't know too much
can
about
anybody
it.
pinch it and just explain kind of what the purpose that we're doing is? Okay, so it's essentially it's a working on ensuring that the corporation has the proper accounting practices in place on a go forward basis to get us really squared away moving forward in those type of services. The initial scope, as you all see on, and I'll post it in the chat. The initial scope was larger than we were wanting to do originally, so we have backed that down to be more fiscally in line and just kind of slimmer for what we're aiming to do from that standpoint. So check that out in the forums. I will put the link in the chat.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Derek.
Yeah, it's going to tidy up a lot of normal daily work.
Say that again, sorry, Hayden.
Yes, it's going to help tidy up a lot of the normal work that we normally have to do on the legal and accounting side. Over the process behind it.
Yeah, all this becomes vastly more important as I'm sure everybody is aware of all the things that are going on. So yeah, that's the purpose. We have to make sure that is streamlined and compliant on a go forward basis, and I know the compliance team will greatly appreciate it also. So
amazing, thanks guys. Awesome. I'm going to move on to the last major point in the agenda, and that is the 2025 election. So as you know, we're in the middle of our annual election cycle for the second round of yearly elections for the association. An overview of the election can be found on the forum, if you're able to post that for me, Derek. That should give you all the information that you need to know about the whole process in detail. But applications will close on Tuesday, 4th of November at 1 p.m. Central. At the same time on the subsequent day, the Wednesday, snapshots will be posted for all the positions, and the voting period will last for 7 days. And also a guide for how to vote can be found on telcoin.org. Again, Derek, if you're able to post that one in the chat, that'd be brilliant. A key point is that voting is directly tied to the point in time on the blockchain that the vote is created. So it's very important to make sure that all your liquidity positions, your stake tail balance, and any delegations are set up prior to the vote's release. So we're going to take this opportunity in this meeting to hear from the candidates that have posted applications for the election. So I'm going to call people up in turn to tell a little bit about themselves. If the people were unable to make it, you can find their full applications on the forum to have a read through. So I'm going to start with myself, just to get myself out of the way. But I'm applying for Compliance Council for liquidity miners representation. So a little bit about myself. My name's Simon. I'm currently on the Platform Council. But yeah, I've made a decision to apply for the Compliance Council in this round. Just think it's important with one of the Compliance Council members stepping down to have representation with people who have existing experience on the council. They know the ins and outs, the who's and who's, what's happening, how everything works. So I've just taken that decision to do myself. A little bit about myself. I am obviously from the UK. My day-to-day job, I work in data and analytics and insights predominantly. So I do a lot around that. In the association, in the past year, I was responsible for some key proposals that happened, and I was responsible for a lot of the early communication that went around with the association. But yeah, I've applied again, and I'm very excited for what the future holds, and seeing where we can progress everything. So super. Next up, I'm going to call up BZ. Sorry, go on, Parker.
Go ahead, Parker.
Oh, I was just gonna try and do my nomination next.
No, go for it, dude. Yep. I'll do mine on the Telex call next week, so you're good. Or I'm sorry, the TAN call.
So I have not submitted my application, but I have every intention of running again for the same seat in the Platform Council. There's a lot of work to be done. I'm, as you know, sort of one of the folks that put a lot of thought in developing this institution. I think this first year has really blown my expectations out of the water. Very sort of intimidating, right? To work on something in a silo for years and then it finally come to life and then see an actual institution that is operating. And I think year one, we really got our footing here. We've got some momentum. We're getting great partners in place, and we're approaching mainnet launch with a ton of M&Os. And so, it's now time to put our foot on the gas collectively. And I think we're in a great position to do that. I certainly am going to do a ton of advocacy work as I have been with M&Os and with just a broader ecosystem that will encompass this platform at scale, from developers to validators to stakers and liquidity miners. And I think one area of focus that I am going to hone in on a bit this year is working with the Compliance Council to help develop a variety of different processes as we bring on new M&Os. So we get that, those processes in place, make them really solid and bring this thing to life. So really proud of all the council members this year. It's been an honor to be on the group, and I've seen a ton of proposals come through that have made a real impact, external from Telcoin employees or anything like that. And so it's I'm just excited to run, and we'll do my best to help guide everybody towards the right places in any way that I can. And there's this whole thing about you want to decentralize away from the founders of things, but that's decentralization for the sake of decentralization. You need leaders, right? We need leaders in our community, and that's how leaders have stepped up. And I plan on continuing to be entrepreneurial in that way and help and reflect on any areas where maybe it could have done better. But I think it's been a great first year, especially in the universe of DAOs, by the way, which are what's been a lot of. I think relatively to the rest of the industry in terms of governance over crypto, we are world class, and I just have to contribute to that. So thank you.
Thanks, Parker. So next up, I'm going to call up BZ, also known as Derek, who's applying for the Tank Council developers.
Sure. So again, my name's Derek. I'm from the U.S. Applying for the developer seat reapplying for the developer seat on the TAN Council. My background is in a lot of data analytics at a above property level for a few different industries, primarily worked a long time in hospitality in higher level hotels, in business operations and analytics for market sets and comp sets, and worked a lot on that on optimization of end user experience for without being able to say too much for some of the rewards programs that you see in some of the big hotel chains. So my purview is really focusing on, does this work for the user? Does it not? On top of that, I operated in that space for a long time, and then also got into crypto and some of these other things back in 2019 or so, and dabbled a little in 2017. Applied for a liquid delegation seat back in April or so, and since then, my focus in the association has really been a lot of probably what people don't see. Working on organization internally, helping guide some of the end user stuff that we do, working directly with Storm on some of our social media campaigns, ensuring that our brand voice is accurate and together. I've picked up some and dusted off. It's been a few years. Some of my video editing skills, and so I'm working on some currently some voter videos that explain how to do voting, with some guidance from some of the brand stuff there. And then probably my biggest thing that I took on was the streams that you're watching right now. So I produce all the streams for us, do all the meeting notes, and have worked to really try to integrate a bunch of our processes, trying to make things more accessible for the community. It was one of the big challenges. I don't think I need to poke the elephant in the room, but we all know, those of you that are watching, that Telcoin's been around a long time, right? So nobody likes hearing, well, just wait or just see. So our purview has really been, and the association's been on the forefront of trying to be more open, being more transparent. That's not an easy task. I've been involved in some other crypto projects that were the opposite. We'll release it when we're ready. We're not gonna say anything. This is it's a unique structure, and with that is challenges, and with that is also a lot of benefits. And I really wanted to showcase that. So I think the streaming has really helped that. I think we've come a long ways from audio cutouts in Discord. I don't miss those days. So so happy to be here. Looking forward to. I've got some other things planned for this year that I really want to try from that end user experience point. Nick's proposal is one of my biggest things, and really showing off how you can hear how passionate Grant is about the network, and how skilled he is at speaking about it. And we need to make my big focus is really making sure that passion and that level of detail is easily diluted, that anybody can understand it on our web pages and in our media. So that's my focus. Happy to be here.
Thanks, Derek. Next up, we're going to call up Nick, who is applying for a platform council role for developers.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. I'll keep my one pretty short, but I've only been in the council for like 2 to 3 months now. It was a liquid delegation ceremony. So it's a short year for me to have to reapply again, but that's the rules of the road. But yeah, I mean, since I sort of came in, I've hit the ground running, really just working so hard every day on trying to help organize, ideas, stuff for the community. BZ and I work together to take the pressure off the devs and build the roadmap site so we could update the community with that and give them bi-weekly updates. So, separately outside of the council, I built the Telcoin hub for the community to be able to easily see as much information as possible. So my background is coming from IT. I've worked in IT all my life. I've built IT companies from the ground up. And I've worked in the telecoms industry with developers building service software for Nokia mobile phones sold globally around the world. So telecoms has always had a spot because it was one of my early kind of ventures. But I just think overall structure, deliverables, we're working really hard to get through proposals and get them actioned. We don't want delays. So we just want stuff to be delivered as streamlined as possible. So if a proposal's up and it gets passed on a snapshot, we want it to go to implementation. We want to follow them up. We want to make sure that this is getting done. It's just more overall about delivering stuff, really. And if I have to work till 2 a.m. because of the time zone, that's what it is. Just get it done kind of mentality. And I'm really excited. I mean, I feel like I've only just got started being here for 2 months, so I definitely want to serve a full term, a full year, and get to work. And this time next year might be, we'll probably be way further along with all different aspects of it. Will be a different association. Network will be live. So it's a very exciting time, and I'm very happy to dedicate my time and keep pushing and working with all the other council members. They've all been great.
Super stuff. Thanks, Nick. Next, we're going to call up James, also known as James TelTX on X, who's applying for Platform Council developers role.
Awesome. Can everybody hear me clearly? All right.
You're all good.
Awesome. Yep. So thanks, everyone. I'm James from the US, and I'm running for the developer seat on Platform Council. So thanks for having me on to introduce myself. Hopefully you guys have probably seen me pretty active on X as James TelTX. I've been in crypto since 2017. Got started with Bitcoin, and was fortunate to learn early on about how to do it correctly. Cold storage, self-custody, security, etc. Kind of got into the weeds then, and have been in ever since. So it gave me a pretty good foundation for appreciating user protection, access, which is really a big reason why I believe in Telcoin and its mission. So yeah, over the years, I've been active across like DeFi, participating in liquidity pools, Uniswap, learning Sushi Swap, Pancake Swap, sending, not able to buy certain coins, buy certain tokens, and having to have friends buy it for me and then sending it to me, and all kinds of crazy stuff that we all had to do if you were in the game back in the day. So that hands-on experience taught me a lot, especially around risks. You can read about impermanent loss, but when you experience it, both in the good and the not so good, you really learn. I found Telcoin back in 2020, and it's really the one project I've really been kind of committed to. The mission, the architecture, the community, been pretty involved. Currently a Telegram community mod as well. You'll see me active on X, trying to do the best content that I can, engage with the community and everything. And I've just been I just love what Telcoin has done. I love the vision, and the more I kept comparing it to other projects, the more I just got more and more and more confident and bullish in the vision. Whether it be the MNOs, whether it be the stable coins, whether it be the layer one that we're launching, getting to mainnet, which I'm super excited about. So that's why I'm running for the developer seat on the platform council. I want to represent future developers that are going to be on the Telcoin network, represent the community, and I want to make sure to just help Telcoin grow overall, not just within my own seat, but if I have to go across councils, if I have to do anything, I'm just kind of that person that wants to get things done, get things moving, especially if I'm passionate about something. So hopefully some people have used the tool that I made, Telcoin AI. I made that to help people because I saw that a lot of people were putting out content, but it was like very, very short. It would be just, hey, Telcoin, buy Telcoin. And the more I kept looking at the community and how people were engaging, I knew they needed a tool. So I really lost count, but I would say somewhere between 150, 200 plus hours on the Telcoin. It was a lot, 150, 200 hours easy of figuring out the AI, figuring out all the different terminology for the Telcoin AI, to have the LLM actually, work with the whole entire huge, massive Telcoin ecosystem, and just even getting it to answer things correctly. And I'm still working on it, actually. So I did that. I created an instructional YouTube video series on how to actually use it. When the Storm community repository came out, I made a video on how to actually use the Telcoin AI along with the Storm repository, and how to actually use that to even make unique posts. So that way everybody didn't do the same posts. I'm working on a Tel IP right now, which based on Nick's current Blue Light's current proposal to unify the websites, that will pretty much put my Tel IP on the back burner for now. But it was going to be taking the Telcoin AI and then actually self-hosting it, doing a proposal to then build it, get it developed, and then put it onto the website. So then we have an AI on the actual website, which I'm still excited about doing. And actually, it'll be much easier once Nick's proposal is passed. Then we could actually get that done there. But anyway, so my background's in marketing, entrepreneurship. I've built businesses for the last 2 decades in various different industries. I used to do high ticket sales and running energy events and different things like that. So kind of a mixed bag, but at the end of the day, I'm really, really confident about Telcoin. And I really want to bring that kind of entrepreneurial, like, let's get things done, energy to the council, get things move forward. And, I'm just that person that just wants to get things done. And if I have to fly somewhere to go do something and shake some hands, I'll do it. I'll just do whatever it takes to get things moving. So, again, thanks for the time, guys. I look forward to potentially being able to serve on the platform council.
Super stuff. Thanks, James. Next up, we've got Dave Massey, who is applying for the Compliance Council Stakers position.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, real good, Dave.
All right. Sorry, I don't mean to cut this short, but I'm on a child drop-off gymnastics run right now, so I'm driving. But nope, running for re-election, and like I kind of said in my application too, a lot of people, the Compliance Council is not really out there in front with these weekly or bi-weekly meetings, but they are basically involved with every council and need to be at every council meeting. So we've, over this first year, like everyone said, it's been a big learning experience, and we're definitely getting to the swing of things of everybody working well together. And we're going to try to weave some new people in here, but like I said, it's getting going. So like I said, just ready to do it again for another year and see what we can do again.
Great stuff. Thanks, Dave. Next up, we've got Stephen Stanfield, who is applying for Platform Council for Developers, for Validators, sorry.
Yep, validators. I'm reapplying for the seat I've had the last year. I'm a developer on the Telcoin network, so the validator seat kind of makes sense. My focus is getting us to mainnet, getting that launched securely, and yeah, I think that kind of sums it up. I'll cede the rest of my time back to the next
Thanks, Steve. Next up, we've got Ty Akemi, who is reapplying for the Telex Council liquidity miners position. Looking at it, don't think Ty can be here, so we'll move on. Next up, we've got Ari Jones, who is applying for the Platform Council stakers position.
Yeah, so I'll try to keep it short since we've got a lot of people. But yeah, so I'm Ari Jones. Everyone calls me AJ. I'm reapplying for the stakers position on the Platform Council that I filled from liquid delegation last year or this year, earlier this year. And so basically my background is IT, software development. I run a couple companies, own a couple companies, and I develop like large scale payment solutions, one of which I'm working on right now. But yeah, I try to help out with some of the offshoot stuff on the council dealing with development, and I'm looking to push the network completion over the finish line here so that we can start working on solutions and dApps to basically sit on top of the network to go alongside what the MNOs will eventually create to try to boost the ecosystem, because basically we're relying on a funding mechanism of running TEL as gas for the network. And so the more transactions, the more activity we have on the network, the more funds will be produced, and we can kind of make that virtuous cycle work of people using the network and us generating funds to go back into the TAO safes, and for us to distribute that back out in a meaningful way to the community.
Amazing. Thanks, Ari. I'm going to, in the interest of time, I'm going to just crack through the next few people who aren't here. I won't introduce them. There's Andrew Pinch, who is reapplying for the Telex developer seat. I don't think Andrew could be here. And then next up, we've got Grant, who is reapplying for the Treasury Council for validator's seat.
All right, thanks, Simon. Yes, I will also keep it brief, but I'm really excited to reapply and for the validator position on Treasury Council. I think it's been a great first year. We're just getting started. Mainnet is imminent, and we're going to do everything we can to get it off the ground as soon as possible. And yeah, and represent validator interests. So, I've really enjoyed working on the council and spending time and committing to the future success of this organization. And I plan to give it everything I got next year too if I win the election. Thank you.
Amazing. That man needs no introduction. Next up, we've got Angelica Saldana on the call, who is applying for the Treasury Council stakers position.
Hi, I'm Angelica Saldana. My background is different. I graduated from the Vatican. So Pope Leo, who's the present Pope, he's my colleague. He got his doctorate from my school. But why is that essential? Because I have a very global mindset. I can comprehend different countries need different things as far as corporations go. Second thing is I have been in Web3 for 10 years. One of the things I have done is I've been asked by Eurofinance in Vienna, Austria, because I'm running for Treasury, to explain Web3 for the global treasurers. From The Economist, $10 billion companies, Amazon, NVIDIA, UN Treasurer, broke it down to them very easily. Another thing I did was I helped the Institute of International Finance. They're in, I don't know how many countries, too many countries. The IMF is under them, BlackRock. I helped them write. They interviewed me to help write them the paper on decentralized finance. And then the other thing too I have is I am a crypto influencer. So I can have understanding of government, corporations, and the people, and merge them together to make Telcoin a global fintech Web3 company and understand their needs. Thank you for your time.
Amazing stuff. Thank you, Angelica. It's great to have some new applicants on board. I think going to crack through the next couple. I don't think these four people could make it, but I'm just going to introduce who they are. So we've got Leo, who currently holds the TAN Developers Council seat, who is reapplying. Hayden, who was on the call, I believe he's had to drop off to do a few things early in the morning there in Australia. He's applying for Platform Council liquidity miners. And then we've got Mike McNerney, who again is reapplying for the Telex validators seat. And then a new applicant from Eric DL on X, who is applying for the Telex liquidity miners seat. I don't believe he's here. No, I don't think so.
He did. He introduced himself in the Telex anyway.
Okay, perfect. And then we've got Adam, also known as Squirtel, who is reapplying for the Platform Stakers Council position.
Yeah, hello. So first off, it is great to be back. 2 weeks ago, I was absolutely dying of vertigo, so my world was spinning. So I'm feeling pretty good now. But yeah, so here to stand again for the Telcoin Association Council. So those of you who don't know me, my name's Adam Parker. Some people may know me as Squirtle. So over the past year, I've had the privilege of helping shape the strategic direction of the association. It has been an incredible experience working alongside a passionate team that's driving Telcoin towards something what I'd say is truly transformative. So during that time, I've been involved in exchanges, kind of building the structure and framework of the association, helping collectively guide its overall strategy, which defines kind of what the association stands for and where it's heading. So I am genuinely looking forward to for all of you to see the results of all these efforts. I understand there's been many times I've been quieter, and that's not out of choice. That's just what needed to happen. So I'm looking forward to it all and seeing the results happen, both not only from myself, but the wider Telcoin Council and the association. A little bit about me then. My journey in crypto started purely from curiosity and passion. I think it was 2016 going 2017. So from there, I essentially took what I'd learned throughout my career. My career is in business development and management, and I essentially channeled all this into this space. My background is international blue chip companies across video game, entertainment, consumer electronics, and telecoms. So I channeled all of that knowledge, got a role as head of commercial in the crypto industry, and have been doing that for a few years now. So I go to all the different events. I have a wide variety of different contacts, and I'll be honest, everyone in crypto is lovely. You get to know everyone and just get involved. It is a fun place, and it's so vastly different from so many other industries. So my journey with Telcoin then, I've followed Telcoin since the very beginning, from its concept and its ICO through to it launching the remittance, and now it's evolving into a complete digital ecosystem with actual real utility and purpose. I've witnessed its kind of evolution firsthand, and it's gonna sound really cheesy now, but I've had the kind of honor of being part of this association, supporting that growth, both from my role within the council and as part of the global platform, and just as an active community member. So myself and others, I helped co-found a community group on Telegram, where we help educate, kind of support all the others on Telcoin in their journeys. It's because growth doesn't just come from a company. So growth isn't about what happens behind the scenes. Yes, that is a core aspect, but it's about it's about the people and kind of what they believe in and how they help bring that company and its vision to life. So Telcoin has come a long way. BZ already said this. It's had a long journey, but I am proud to have played a part in that story. If I am re-elected, I will happily continue that work and help it grow further, help it reach new milestones, and just help it truly flourish, to be honest. Make it something into kind of everything we know it can become. So I realized I've been talking a long time now, so I'm going to cut it off. Short and sweet in this little bit. Just let's keep building this together. Vote for me, hopefully. And yeah, I'll get the second year and help see this grow.
Thanks, Adam. Yeah, we're down to the last two now. Thanks for waiting patiently, guys. So we've got Dwight, who is reapplying for the Platform Council liquidity miners position.
Yeah, hey guys, good evening. Please excuse me, it's very late here and I'm really tired, but anyway, I'm happy to be here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dwight. I'm located in Germany, and I am currently working for a market making company in the crypto industry located here in Germany. And we have been supporting Telcoin since, I would say, 1.5 years now. And yeah, has been a great journey and developed from a professional relationship into I fell in love with the project. And I think I joined the council 6 months ago, actually, and had a great time. To be honest, I couldn't put in as much time as I liked, but I'm planning to change that in the future because my working life will change a little bit. Besides that, I bring a long-term experience in financial controlling and financial audit. So I have a lot of experience here, especially in the pharmaceutical industry in Germany. Besides that, I'm working with a lot of crypto industry contacts worldwide, exchanges, projects, big funds, VCs, etc. Made a lot of experience in the past years, and I'm hoping to bring my knowledge to the table in developing Telcoin further and help the team to grow further and take the steps we need to grow bigger. And I would describe myself as a conservative, critical thinker. I don't know, some of you already spoke with me in some meetings or via Telegram or in other occasions. And I usually am the voice who is a little bit critical, but I love to engage with the community, and I try to emphasize critical voices as well, because I think they need to be heard. And yeah, I'm happy to reapply for next year, and I'm excited to look into the future. And yeah, that's it. Thank you, guys.
Perfect. Thanks, Dwight. And lastly, I believe we've got Marcus, who is applying for the Treasury Council developers position.
Okay, hi everyone. A lot of you probably already know me. So my name is Marcus Osterland, and I'm running for the Treasury Council developer seat. Yeah, I know. Thank you. So essentially, I've been serving on the Treasury Council developer seat for the past year. And it's been a great experience. I've built a lot of really cool things and had opportunities to, explore a lot of really cool domains that are relevant to the Telcoin organization association. I'm looking forward to, if re-elected, serving again. And yeah, I'd be honored to continue building for the community in this capacity.
Awesome. Thanks, Marcus. So I think that's everybody who has actively applied. Please feel free to shout up, even if they're not on this call. Nope. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, thanks everybody for speaking. To everybody listening, applications are still open, so don't be afraid to take the leap and apply to be a council member if you are interested. Please do feel free to reach out to any current council members if you have any questions on the process or responsibilities. Awesome. So we're going to finish up with a open Q&A and answering any chat questions that we've got. BZ, if you've got any questions from the chat, please do feel free to read them out, and I'll try to answer or pass them off to whoever.
Yeah, we've been doing a pretty good job of I think answering anything. If anybody has anything, please feel free to throw it in. There was a question. I'm not sure what this is in regards to from Daryl Davis about a link to the world map update. So I'm not sure what. I don't believe that's. I don't know if they're maybe referring to the Holdings website, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that's Holdings website is what they're probably talking about.
Got it. Yep. So that's again, the association is not in purview with Telcoin Holdings, right? So that the telco.in domain is something that is managed by a different team, and not one that we would speak on from that aspect, just to be clear. But other than that, Dally's in the chat reminding everybody to please join Discord and our Telegram groups, engage with him and the other community members. And that is the only chat questions that I can see so far. We've answered everything else. Most were around the network. A few bank questions, and again, I'll say this again just because it's been brought up, but the bank, I know it's a big topic of conversation, is not within the purview of the Telcoin Council. It's not something that we have the ability to speak on, or B, really have any sort of knowledge or connection other than our business relationships with Telcoin Holdings. So not something that we can really speak on this call. Any of those questions, we'll try to answer what we can, but not something that we're able to really do. Our focus is the purview in the network. So that should be all the questions.
Awesome. So yeah, that brings us to the last item on the agenda. So thanks everybody. Before we close, we're just going to confirm our upcoming meeting schedule, which is November 13th, November 27th, and December 11th. Calendar invites will be sent to council members. Remember, these meetings are crucial for maintaining transparency and communication with our community. Thanks everybody for participating in our 26th recurring council meeting, and we'll see you on November 13th.